Okay everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video on Gran Turismo 7, trying to help you earn them 2 million credits as quickly and as easily as possible. Now this combo in Group 4 Evolution at Deep Forest is actually quite an enjoyable combination to drive. I actually took this combination pretty easily. I think it was within 30 miles we've managed to get our lap time down to a 33.045 or something like that, and then managed to get it to a 33.011 within about 60-70 miles. Had to push it a little bit harder to get to P1 in the world, which we did manage to do with this lap. So make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you enjoy this guide, and hopefully we can help you out. So let's go into this and jump in. You can see it took us 102 miles to get this lap done to get to P1. So we're going to go into the online time trial section in the top right hand corner. From there you will be greeted with a group of different time trials. We're going into the Deep Forest one there, which you can see we are currently #1 in the world with that lap. And annoyingly, there was a bit of a mistake on the final corner, which I will talk about in a minute. But yeah, I predict this is going to go down to a 1:35.2 because I definitely had 2 more attempts there to get a 32.7, and I'm sure there'll be people that can go 2 attempts at least quicker than me. So you're going to want to try and get that lap time at least half second than the current goal that you see on screen there. But let's get into this guide, and I'm going to try and give you some tips to try and help you get this lap done as quickly and as easily as possible. Now I am using weak ABS for this. I tried it straight away and it just felt really nice. It helped rotate the car. So give weak ABS a go with this car with hard tyres on this track. It seems to work a treat. So going into turn 1, we are going to be looking for the 100 board on the right hand side. We're going to brake just a fraction short of that 100 board. So as you're coming up to it now, you can see the start of the curb. We're going to brake just past the start of the curb and just before the 100 board there at 241 kilometers, 150 miles per hour. And now you're going to don't downshift too quick. You can see I'm staying in 4th. Then I'm going to go to 3rd as I'm starting to turn in now. Now the key here is to really hold the tight line to the curb and get your left-hand tyre right up onto the curb. So stay in 3rd gear, then down to 2nd gear, and now you can see how it rotates. And you can see I can actually get back on the throttle because my left-hand tyre is right up against the curb on the left-hand side. Now because of that, I can get aggressively on that throttle and accelerate out this corner and keep that throttle all the way down as we go up this hill now into this next left-hand corner. Now again, you want to get your left-hand tyre up onto the curb, as this will enable you then to obviously get a wider entry in point and really cut over the curb on the right hand side. Now, as you're getting on the brakes, you're going to brake just about there. You can see in between the 2 curbs, basically. And what that's going to do, you're not going to put aggressive braking. It's just a little bit of braking just to get that right-hand tyre up onto the curb. And then you can get back on the throttle. And again, you can see as you're back on the throttle, you're back on the brakes again instantly to try and get this left-hand tyre back over the curb. Now, you can be quite aggressive here. You can see I'm right up on the curb. Why I'm doing that is because then it gives you a better line of attack into this next slow right-hand corner. So you can see there, back on the brakes as soon as we're off the curb there to help rotate this car into this right hand corner, down to 2nd gear, and then aggressively on the throttle as soon as your right hand tyre is up onto that curb because you want to accelerate out this corner. You want to be carrying that momentum. So again, you can see carrying the momentum out the corner, using the full width of the track on the exit there, and actually about a 10th off on that sector from my personal best. So there's a 10th in that sector alone to gain on this lap. So again, into this next right hand corner, you can see onto the brakes just as soon as we're off the curb, pretty much out of the tunnel. And now you're trying to rotate this car as close to this white line as possible. You want to keep this right hand tyre right up to the white line, and then you can see you can get quite aggressive on the throttle. If you get that rotation going, you can get on that throttle quite aggressively quite early. You can see straight onto 100% throttle. Let them gears rev out in this car. Do not short shift this car. And then you're going to see as we attack up this hill now, you're going to get the right hand tyre up onto the curb. So again, widen the line into this next left hand corner so you can see up onto the curb, and then pretty much as soon as we're off the curb here, onto the brakes, just a little dab of brakes, not too aggressive, up to 50% braking, and then trail braking off to about 20% there, and then aggressively on the throttle as you're coming out this exit, over the change of colour on the track, and then braking just a little bit past that. And now again, you want to try and get this exit speed. So it's about optimizing the exit. So you want to try and rotate it, and this is where weak ABS I think helps, because it helps with the rotation, and you can then get on the throttle aggressively because you can see I'm on the throttle before my left hand tire is up onto the curb. This is going to give me a great exit now because we've got that rotation. It's rotating with the throttle input as well, and now we're accelerating up the hill. You can see I'm actually catching up to the Ghost here because of that exit. Now we're coming up to another mistake. So the first sector we lost a 10th. I know that already because my Delta, I'd gone a 10th quicker through there. So we can probably do a 0.4 at that split. I think would be a solid run. fourth lap. But now into this final corner, you're going to be looking for this 100 board, but to get this rotation sorted, it's very difficult. You can see I brake just before the 100 board. That is your reference really, but it's all about how you trail brake it and how you rotate it into this corner, and then how you get on the throttle. So you can see I do this part quite well. I've got it slowing down nicely, I'm going through the gears nicely, and at this point here, I'm in a good situation. I've got this car slowed down almost perfectly, down to first gear, then I can go back up to second gear. Now, however, at this point here, you can see I have a little bit of a mess around with the throttle, and I don't really get that feel. I come off the throttle, keep coming off, backing off, keep lifting off, and I lose a little bit on the exit there compared to a previous lap that I'd done. I've managed to do that exit almost identical to the ghost that I was chasing. So I think there's at least a tenth, maybe even more, just on that final corner that I've lost out there. So I do think that we should be able to push this lap into possibly a 32.7 at least, if we really push it a little bit more aggressively. But yeah, we go over the line on a 32.931 with 100 miles of time trial, and I'm pretty happy with that. I think we can go definitely quicker. Let's have a watch of that lap again from the chase camera with the kilometers now. You can see again, look how much I hug this curb on the left hand side, and that gives you that grip to really get on that throttle on the exit, and then working your way into this next group of corners. It's all about optimizing the lines in, so using a lot of the curb. Again, this corner up onto the curb, that rotates it into this next corner, again using the full width of the track up to the left hand side there, and nearly hitting the wall, and then again hogging this inside. If you get that braking right with the trail braking, with the weight transfer, you can really get on that throttle early and aggressively, which then again, it's all about optimizing them lines, giving you the rotation into these left hand corners, and again braking just after the change of colour there. And again, left hand tight up onto that curb, aggressively on the throttle. Just be careful you don't run too far wide on that exit, because you will invalidate the lap obviously. And then just powering your way, making sure you rev this car out, make sure you get every little bit of rev out of this car. If you short shift it, you're going to lose pace. So rev out every possible gear that you can, and then braking just short of that 100 board. And again, you can see here, I've got the braking almost perfectly, got it rotated in, but again there, I think it was just a little bit hesitant. I had to jump off the throttle a little bit, and with this car, if you hesitate on the throttle, you just lose the momentum coming out the exit. So a little bit of a mistake on the final corner, which I'm sure I could rectify if I was to push it a bit more, but I'm pretty happy with this lap. I probably won't go back on. We're on a 32.9, and it was actually P1 in the world when I did this lap. I'm not sure whether it will stay in the top 10 by the end of today, because a lot of people will be very, very close on this time trial. But yeah, smash the like, subscribe, and I'll be back with more of these in the future.